Hello, everybody. Welcome and come on in to this very special episode of Lightworkers Connect. You'll notice I'm not going on Be Live. We had some, actually, I'm just going to close this down on my computer here. Had some technical difficulties with Be Live, so we are going to come to you live via Facebook Live. And as soon as my guest Deborah arrives, I am going to bring her on camera with me, because we are all in for a very cool treat today. How many of you guys are familiar with light language? Have you ever had light language spoken to you before? If you've had light language spoken to you before, send me some likes, some hearts, some love across the screen. How many of you guys have ever spoken light language? If you've ever spoken it, give me some business going on here. My husband, who is a good thing he's not on Facebook because he's a really private guy. He doesn't like me telling his personal stories. But when he was a kid, oh, there's Deborah. I'm going to click you and bring you on. Wait, it says I can't bring Deborah on camera at this time. What? Deborah, what's going on? It says that you can't join my broadcast at this time. And this was our backup plan. Okay, so here's what we're going to do instead, everybody. Because that's what you do when you're live and you're thinking on your feet and things aren't coming across in the way you want them to come across. All right, here's my plan. Deborah, let me know if this plan is going to work for you. I'm going to continue to stay on here and share some of the background insights about light language and share about my experience with you, Deborah. And then perhaps you would post a video for us. One of your beautiful light language videos, which will serve as the receiving of the message here today, since we're going to make sure this message gets out one way or the other, even if our technology doesn't work right. All right, so that's going to be my plan. Let me switch my gears here so I can see. Deborah is watching. Will that work for you, my sweet Deborah? I think that's what we're going to do, and then we'll reschedule. Yes, she says good. We'll reschedule bringing you back on so you guys can all experience Deborah in person. Excuse me. Brenda Rogers says hello. Donna Lewis says hello. Good. I'm glad all of you guys are here. So here's the little story I was going to tell you on my husband about speaking light language. He and I both grew up not in the same part of the United States, but both grew up in very traditionally religious households, very Christian households. And in the Christian tradition that I was brought up in, we learned a little bit about speaking in tongues in church. And speaking in tongues was not a language that is, there's like a translation or a guide or a key to decoding. It's more of a speaking with spirit in whatever sounds, syllables, the blah-bitty-blahs that are coming out of your mouth. And my husband told me a story when he was a little boy. He and his brother were out on the beach and they were swimming, and his brother started getting taken and pulled back by the riptide and the waves. And in that moment, when he was fearful and didn't know what to do for his brother, he started speaking in tongues, just whatever was coming to him, to save his brother. And his brother survived the incident. So if my husband were here on Facebook, which he is not, which is probably good because he'd be mad at me for telling his stories, he would have to raise his hand and say that he has indeed before spoken in light language. Light language is just that. It is a beautiful expression of energy encoded with information, because that's what light is. Light is knowledge. Light is the God source energy that comes to us outside of the realm of the construct of words that are agreed upon between the different languages that we observe here on the planet now: English, Spanish, French, Latin, whatever it may be, okay? So that is, if this is the first time that you are exploring the concept of light language, that's what light language is. Brian Cable says he loves to speak in light language. Yeah, that's very cool, Brian. I'd love to hear you speak in light language. I think that speaking in light language is a beautiful gifting that some people are really, really good at. I believe that all of us have the ability to bring that energy through our being, whether we're singing or just humming along, if you're making up a tune as you go. This is a form of connecting with that song of the spirit and just bringing it through. What I've also noticed about light language is that there are many dialects, different dialects to light language. So depending on whose message it is that you're bringing through, whether, thank you for sharing the love, Jillian, whether you're bringing through, oh, Brian uses it to enter the Akashic Records, awesome. Brian, the very first lady who opened my Akashic Records for me used singing and bringing through a bit of light language to open them as well. So I'm very cool that you found that. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. We're talking light language today. So the different dialects of light language come from the different beings that are bringing through whatever the message is. And some of them can sound very beautiful and very French and very poetic and very much like a song sometimes. And when Deborah, who was supposed to be our guest today, but the technology just isn't working. So Deborah's going to post a video for you guys. That it can sound very melodic. Sometimes, and I will also admit to you guys that not long ago, I had a new light being teacher that presented itself in my awareness and was bringing online some new awarenesses and new skills for me, and was bringing on some light language. And it was not the pretty, beautiful, melodic kind. It was the kind that sounded more like noises and popping and barking. And I told Coach Nick about it, and he was like, do it. I'm like, no way, I'm not doing it. But I found that when I would just allow myself to be comfortable enough in my own space to speak the barking light language that was coming through, that what ended up happening was there was a release of self-judgment that allowed me to move into some deeper forms of channeling. So while I don't speak light language as a traditional part of my own construct in working with clients or healing or teaching, it has been handy to open up different awarenesses and different abilities in me. Another cool thing that I've noticed about light language is that the person who speaks the light language, or who the message is coming through, oftentimes does not also interpret the message. Meaning, when the light language is coming through, the person who is allowing it to come through their form and their being and their body isn't necessarily worried about interpreting it. They're just bringing the information through. A lot of times they have no clue what it even means. And I like that about light language, because it can be individually interpreted by many different people who are receiving it. It works beyond the comprehension of our minds to absorb what it is that we're receiving. So it allows us just to stay in a receiving of light mode. And that's the coolest thing about not having to translate word for word what light language is that it works on us on a deeper level. Now, there are people who can interpret light language, and actually everybody can when they want to tune in. I found that this was a skill that I had before I would venture out into speaking light language in my own office in here. I had several sessions with other light workers whose modality it was to share light language, and they would speak a light language message to me, and I would be able to interpret what was in the message. Donna Lewis says that's what I do. She just speaks it. Very cool. Sherry, thank you for sharing. And hi, Rena. I'm glad you're here. Steph is here too. Welcome, Steph. So light language is really, really interesting and powerful. And hang on, Jill Nichols says, I am not getting sound, but symbols, which I don't recognize. How glad am I that you said that? So glad. That is, and I'm learning just in this moment because the messages are coming in, Jill, that is another form of light language, which is very cool. Sacred geometry is something that I really love using, and I use with a lot of my students to shift and open different realms and portals within our multidimensional self. Because when our brain tries to understand what it is that we're doing and connecting with, Ricardo says, same here too, symbols, awesome. Kelly Jean says, within our God conscious frequency. Oh, you guys are rad, you totally get it. Thank you for being my rad audience. And thank you for those of you who are opening and learning something new today. It's such a pleasure to share this space with you guys. Jim, you like my shirt? Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing the knowledge. Absolutely, Ricardo. Thank you for holding the space for all of us to be receptive vessels of this knowledge as well. So Yeah, we're in a love fest in here, all with each other, all getting it on with our enlightened selves here on Hump Day. All right. Okay, so back to light language. Symbols and sacred geometry, yes, absolutely, are other forms of light language that work to open our multidimensional nature in ways that our vocabulary and our conscious mind doesn't necessarily have to understand. And the plan today was to introduce you to Deborah Williams, who is a member of the Akashic Academy and is an incredible speaker of light language. And I encourage the members of the Academy and all of you guys, reach out, connect with me. I want to connect with you. I want to know what's going on in your life. Hi, Dee. I want to... Pia says, I love when Deborah sings her light language. Good, then you've seen her before. Yes. Yes, 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 Pia. She is fantastic. Like I encourage so many of you guys to do, because I want to connect, to send me messages. And so Deborah sent me a message and shared with me that she has this incredible gift and asked if she could share a video with me, which was my gift, absolutely. Sam Shelley's in the house. Hi, Sam. Yes, I'm looking forward to chatting with you later as well. Hopefully, hopefully Be Live TV will work out their kinks before you and I hang out in just a bit, but this is going to work too. She posted a video. Yay, yes. Way to go, Deborah. Guys, you guys are going to super, super enjoy this video. The plan was to have Deborah do it live here for you, and I would interpret the message that was coming in. But since we've had a little glitch in technology, we will upload it, and then I will go back and watch it, and I will give you my interpretation. But this is excellent because it will open each and every one of you guys to participate as well and share what you received, because like I shared in the beginning of this broadcast, the messages can be individually received and we can each get something slightly different. So I encourage you to go back and watch the video and share what you got. This will also allow you to expand your multidimensional skills. See, being able to interpret these messages from spirit is a powerful energetic gift. It's one of our psychic abilities. It has to do with the power and openness of our intuition and our third eye. And we can always work on exercise in that thing, right? So use this as an opportunity to participate in a collective group exercise of all of us strengthening our receptivity of receiving these messages. It's been such a privilege to get to know Deborah even more. She joined the Akashic Academy secret membership program, so we have been getting to know each other even more, and she has been a wonderful energy in our collective space there as we're doing our full and new moon ceremonies and our private channelings and private workshops inside of there. So Deborah, we are just so blessed to have you, and you are such a gift. I encourage you to continue to post these incredible videos and allow this beautiful energy that you transmit to be absorbed by so many of us. It's just a gift to each one of us. And I thank you so much that you're here, my sister. You are very, very awesome. Let's check in with some comments here. Pia said, oh, it would be cool to know what it means. It feels very loving at a deep level. Yes, definitely a resonation of unconditional love and compassion comes through when light language is being spoken or sung to us. Brenda Rogers Stacy says, I guess I'm the only one who hasn't heard of light language before. I'm guessing you're not. I'm guessing there are a couple more here today, Brenda, and I'm glad that you could hold the space for learning something new. So even if you are the only darn person here today who has never heard of light language, what's really cool is that you are holding space for expansion and for each one of us to learn something in the coming moments, the coming days, the coming week that we've never learned before. So thank you for even being brave enough to say, I don't know what y'all talking about up in here. Deborah Williams says, I'm sorry we cannot connect directly too. But I'll trust the timing and trust the energy, and I'm so grateful for everybody who is here. Yes, Christy says, Deborah is great. She's known her for a while. Lucky you, Warnick. She is very cool. My mama's in the house. Hi, Mama. Donna Lewis says, always feel like my higher self knows. Yes, that is another great point, Donna, is that even if you don't come up with what you feel like is a concrete translation for you, meaning, you know, words that are associated with something that means something to you coming up, you can always trust that your higher self is knowing exactly how to decode this energy that you're receiving. The most important thing that you can do when you're receiving light language and when you're watching the video that Deborah posts is to be in an open and receptive state of your mind, your heart, your mental body, your emotional body, your light body, to really receive all of what's there for you in that message. Anoop says, how can I learn this art of the Akashic Records in India? Well, you can learn the art of the Akashic Records around the world with me if you resonate with my energy and my style of teaching. So I would encourage you, if you do want to know more about the Akashic Records, reach out to me. Get on my schedule for a free strategy session, and I can share with you all about the online course. I have a 15-week online course, so you can study anywhere you want in the world and learn how to use the Akashic Records for self-transformation, for healing, for knowledge, for guidance in your life. BC, where is the video posted? I believe it's posted on the Akashic Academy Facebook page. If not, Deborah might have posted inside the secret group, and if that's the case, we will repost it here where all of you guys can see it. William says, hey, gorgeous, you know you're late. You are late. You have to stay after class now, Mr. Blank. Any questions about light language before we wrap it up for today? I love you too, my friend. Thank you guys so much for joining me, even though we've had a technical blip. Thank you for allowing just my mug to be on camera talking to you for the past half an hour. As you guys know, I could sit here and probably talk to you all day long. I look forward to bringing Deborah back to really connect on screen with me and with you guys, so we will absolutely work that out. But in the meantime, please enjoy that video from Deborah and post what it is that you experienced when you opened yourself. You went to that open receptive state and received that attunement, because that's really what's going on when we are receiving light language, is we are receiving light attunements. So thank you again for your gifting, Deborah. Thank you all for the gifting of your presence here in this space for this this video. Brian says you love the topic. Yes, absolutely. Jump back on my schedule, BC. I had to do it post via Messenger. All right, Deborah, I'll help us figure it out and get it posted on here for all of us, okay? Namaste, everybody, and I'll see you again soon for a little time hanging out with the Miracle Man, Sam Shelley, and then, of course, Jack Coleman's coming up later on today, too, doing some life hacking for us. Bye.